It was a quiet December evening in the Moroccan village of Imlil, nestled deep in the high Atlas Mountains. The air was crisp, the stars stretched endlessly overhead, and the only sound was the wind sweeping across the rocky slopes. Somewhere in that stillness, two young women, Louisa and Maren, were setting up their tent. They were smiling, chatting, enjoying the moment. They were travelers, hikers, best friends, and they had come here to experience something beautiful. Louisa Vesterager Jespersen was just 24 years old, from Denmark. Bright, adventurous, and full of life, she was passionate about nature and about meeting people from different cultures. Her friend, Maren Ueland, was 28, from Norway. Soft-spoken, gentle, deeply compassionate, Maren cared deeply about the planet, about peace, and about justice. They had met while studying outdoor recreation and nature-based tourism at a university in Norway. Both dreamed of guiding others into the wilderness, teaching people how to find peace in the natural world. That December, they decided to go on their own journey, one they had planned for months. They chose Morocco, a country known for its vibrant culture, warm people, and breathtaking landscapes. After spending a few days in Marrakesh, Louisa and Maren made their way to the mountains. Their plan was simple: hike toward Mount Toubkal, the tallest peak in North Africa, and camp under the stars. They weren't looking for danger. They weren't seeking thrills, just a quiet escape into beauty. But while they were preparing for their adventure, far from their homes and families, four men were preparing for something very different. These men, all Moroccan, had pledged allegiance to the terrorist group ISIS. They weren't trained fighters. They weren't part of any official organization. But they had been radicalized online, exposed to violent propaganda, twisted ideology, and hatred masked as religion. They were looking to make a statement. Just a few days earlier, the men had recorded a video. In it, they pledged loyalty to ISIS, holding a crude black flag. They swore they would carry out an act of jihad, something brutal, something symbolic, something that would get attention. And then, on the night of December 16th, 2018, they found Louisa and Maren's tent. The women were camped just outside Imlil, in a quiet valley often used by hikers. It was remote, peaceful, and unprotected. Perfect for those looking to escape, and tragically, perfect for those looking to harm. What happened next was beyond comprehension. The attackers crept up in the early morning hours. They entered the tent. What followed was pure savagery. Louisa and Maren were attacked in their sleep, with knives and machetes. One of the women was decapitated, and the entire scene was filmed by the attackers on a mobile phone. The video was later shared online, a horrific and calculated move to shock the world. It worked. The following morning, a pair of French hikers discovered the bodies. Authorities were called. The tent was found torn, stained with blood. Two young lives full of potential had been brutally stolen. The Moroccan government acted quickly. A nationwide manhunt was launched. Within 72 hours, the four main suspects were identified and arrested. Security footage had captured them traveling to and from the area. One of them had even left his ID card behind at the scene. They were caught while trying to flee toward Agadir, a coastal city. Police found weapons, clothing, and extremist materials in their possession. Over the following weeks, more arrests were made. A total of 24 individuals were charged in connection with the crime, some directly involved, others accused of providing support, shelter, or ideological encouragement. The trial began in May 2019. It was held in Saleh near Rabat, in a court specializing in anti-terrorism. Inside, the courtroom was silent as the men confessed. They admitted to killing Louisa and Maren. They expressed no remorse. They even claimed it was a form of religious duty. Outside the court, people wept, not just in Morocco, but across the world. Louisa's and Maren's families released statements filled with pain, but also with grace. Maren's mother wrote a letter to the court. She described her daughter as a bright, kind soul, someone who loved others deeply and wanted to make the world better. In July 2019, the court delivered its verdict. 3 of the men were sentenced to death. A 4th received life in prison. The others received sentences ranging from 5 to 30 years. The families were awarded compensation, though no amount could ever heal their loss. In the years that followed, some of the men appealed their sentences. One of them, Abderrahim Kayali, was found dead in his prison cell in 2023. Authorities reported that he had taken his own life. But for Louisa and Maren, the story ends in that quiet valley. In a place they had chosen for peace, they met violence. In a country that welcomed them, they were betrayed by a few twisted minds. Yet even in death, their light hasn't faded. Across Morocco, vigils were held. Berber villagers laid flowers where the tent once stood. Tour guides gathered to pay their respects. The people of Morocco stood with Norway and Denmark, not just in sorrow, but in solidarity. Louisa and Maren will never be forgotten. They remind us of the beauty of friendship, of the courage to explore, of the risks we take when we step into the unknown. But above all, they remind us of the fragility of life and the importance of protecting one another in a world that too often forgets how precious life is. May they rest in peace, and may their story never be repeated. If you found this story shocking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true crime cases.